Hey, welcome to a new video. According to legend, one day in the 2000s, a man named Jose from Fresno, California was awakened by his dogs barking crazily. He is said to have been the first person to capture mysterious figures on camera, known as the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Now, someone on Reddit has experienced a similar moment when he saw a translucent figure walking past his house on his security camera. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. This video was uploaded on January 12, 2012 by a user named Epic Family Channel. One day, Kimberly, the owner, tells that she saw her cat acting a little strange. The cat seems to notice something in the room, but Kimberly doesn't see anything. At one point, the cat even begins to stand on its hind legs to get a better look at what's hiding above the dresser. Then the cat turns around with a very scared face. What could the cat have seen? Whatever it was, one thing's certain, the cat did not like it at all. Kimberly thinks it might have been a ghost, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. This group of teenagers were filming a scene at their university when something happened that freaked them all out. Even after studying by a lot of people on the internet, it still remains a mystery. As we see, a door mysteriously opens, and when zooming in, you'd swear you saw a white figure ducking away. But who opened that door? A YouTube user named Minister Paul uploaded a video in February 2013 showing a dog running around in a huge backyard. The dog's name is Ruby, a normally timid and quiet dog. In the video, the dog runs outside, likely because it heard or sensed something. The man grabs his camera to film it, and we see the dog looking at something on the ground, then getting scared by something. People in the comments think it could have something to do with the weather, a minor earthquake, or that the dog saw a ghost. The other dog, which is normally more dominant, decides to stay inside and doesn't want to go outside. It's unclear what Ruby sees or feels, but it seems like something's going on. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. This particular road in Bangalore, India is notorious for the number of accidents that happen there. Not surprisingly, from time to time, inexplicable things are captured on camera. In this video, we see a ghost wandering in the middle of the road as several cars pass by. Pretty creepy if you ask me. Could this be a spirit of a deceased person? The Stanley Hotel is located in Estes Park in Colorado, USA. This hotel would have had a spooky past, and would have also been the inspiration for Stephen King's horror book from 1977 called The Shining. Stephen King would have slept there himself, and would have had one of the worst nightmares ever. There are said to have been several ghost appearances observed in the hotel. There's also said to be regular sounds of children running around and laughing through the corridors of the 4th floor. A man named John Mausling and his wife Jessica stayed here and took pictures. In one of the pictures, they saw a little girl on the stairs. However, John says that no young girls went on the tour at all. This would not be the only picture taken of a ghost. A few years earlier, Henry Johann took this picture, which looks like a ghostly appearance of a woman and child standing on exactly the same stairs as the previous picture. The Battle of Gettysburg is known as one of the greatest battles of the American Civil War. Since then, several sightings and appearances of ghosts and other paranormal things have been seen there. In this video, someone claims to have captured 2 ghosts with his camera. People who have visited Gettysburg regularly report feeling cold on hot summer days, and often feeling an invisible presence around them. A YouTube channel called CPTV got the idea from some viewers to buy a spooky doll on eBay. Eventually, they had found a doll that cost about $20, with the description attached that the doll had been found in the attic with candles around it, while the previous owner was cleaning an old house. When the person returned from lunch break, the doll would suddenly be in a different place, and since this event, he also heard footsteps in the attic in his own house. When the boys put the doll down, their dog Saffron immediately ran up to it and started barking.
Saffron, what are you doing? Hey, Saff! Whoa!
It looks like the dog doesn't like the doll at all, and he even panics a bit, so the boys finally decide to dump the doll in the nearest canal. On a sunny day, this couple decided to camp somewhere and passed by an abandoned cabin. If you look closely, you can see the additional person can be seen in the cabin behind the girl. This video footage was taken at a state park in Florida, and while the girl was leaning out the open window, something walked behind her. The couple decided to investigate the cabin, but could not find a thing. The figure also quickly disappears from the scene, looking pale and ghostly. Pretty creepy, don't you think? In this video, we see 2 little girls playing in a kitchen, but soon this night turns out to be something that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. The 2 girls saw a ghost in the back of the kitchen, which scared them and made them run away crying. In the following video uploaded by the YouTube user named Nathan Hughes, we see a dog that's terrified of something. It seems like the dog saw something that made her very scared, and she's frozen in place. The owner even put out a dog treat, but the dog completely ignores it. Instead of lying calmly on the couch, the dog stares towards the kitchen. The owner of the dog decides to walk into the kitchen, but finds no one there. Several people in the comments think that the dog saw the ghost of a previous owner who used to live there, but has since passed away. It's certainly strange behavior, and it makes you wonder why the dog's so scared, and what it could be. Perhaps the dog saw an insect fly away, or maybe it really is something paranormal. This is another one of those incidents where people go looking for the supernatural, and when you do that at night, you sometimes find or hear something. A man had heard about several reported ghost sightings in the forest near his home, and decided to take a look on his own. At one point, he comes across a figure that looks like a woman with a bowed head, but then disappears again. Because it looks so believable, many people in the comments had told him not to go back to this place. In this video, we see some ghost hunters whose dog Pixie, a Jack Russell Terrier, is part of the paranormal investigation team. Pixie would stop at various places and refuse to move. According to the dog's owners, orbs of light could be seen when they took pictures, so she definitely had a talent for detecting ghosts. When the dog noticed something, the owners analyzed the body language. The dog would stop unexpectedly, and she would sniff the air or bark if she felt something was nearby. In this video, you can see that the research team took Pixie to a type of hotel called Pickering Creek Inn. This is a place where multiple ghost sightings occurred. Pixie also ends up finding an abandoned underground railroad, which is quite clever of the dog. This video footage is of a plane corridor in Phuket, Thailand. As seen on camera, we see shadows and figures moving slowly down the corridor, which would be normal if the airport wasn't deserted and if a plane was nearby. The footbridge also seems to be connected to nothing. Where do these ghost passengers come from? What do you think? This video was uploaded on May 31st, 2012 to the YouTube channel Dara's Land. You probably already know that cats can be very agile, and this cat even managed to get to the top of the door and balance between the door and the other doorpost. You may be thinking, what's so strange about that? But if you look closely, a few seconds later, you can see a bluish thing fly by. The man recording the video says he found it very strange, and shortly after, the cat decides to jump back down to the ground. The video's description suggests that it's a possessed cat that saw something on the ceiling. Some people in the comments say it's a paper airplane, while others claim that it's a blue light orb. Light orbs are optical phenomena that believers in the paranormal consider to be spirits. In this video, a security camera turned on in the middle of the night after something moved in the woods near the house. This camera caught something that the naked eye would have never seen. Even if you were standing right next to it in the backyard, if you look closely, you can see a white shadow passing by in the video until it disappears into the woods on the right. This video was uploaded on August 15th, 2014 by a YouTube channel named Megan Brooks. The title of the video is Dog Sees Ghosts, Protects Owner. You can see a dog sitting looking at the end of the hallway, but there's nothing to see except a few boxes with some papers in them. When Megan uploaded the video, she asked people why her dog would do this. Many began to speculate that it had to do with the statue standing in the back. In fact, the statue is said to carry an ancient Egyptian curse, or some kind of ghost attached to it. She also explains that the room temperature dropped by 10 degrees when this happened. The strange thing about this situation is that the dog is always cheerful and always responds to visitors with joy and love. So the fact that the dog was barking was very strange, and not something that the dog would normally do. According to people in the comments, the best solution is to have the statue removed. What do you think? The last thing you want to see your child do is point to a corner and say they see multiple ghosts.
Why you stand the Yeah, they ain't alive.
They're not alive?
No.
The boy also clearly states that they are not alive. How creepy is that? This young girl froze and refused to enter her mother's room because she said there was a scary friend inside. When asked to elaborate, she even pointed to a specific corner. The mother also said her daughter was trying to keep her out of the room. What is she seeing? Tony Ferguson is a personal trainer who, along with his friend Paul Kissel, goes looking for all kinds of different paranormal places around the world. In 2018, they plan to investigate Hurst Castle in Hampshire, England. The castle dates back to the 16th century, when it was a military base. The place is said to have a dark past, and when the two went to investigate the castle, they quickly got the feeling that some kind of strange energy was in the air. In fact, this was not the first time they experienced strange things in the castle. They decided at one point to put a camera in several rooms, and when they returned the next day, they were shocked. In one of the rooms, there was a small window, and what they saw gave them chills all over their body. Now, of course, this could be a person, but the other side of the window would have been bricked up a long time ago, so no one could get in. So, who or what was this? In this video, we see a little girl who sees the ghost of her mother and says goodbye. However, she doesn't seem to be afraid. Instead, she walks up to her, waves goodbye, and gives the ghost of her mother a flower. All this boy wants to do is ride the elevator up and down because he wants to play with the ghost in the elevator. The father wonders what's happening and goes with the boy. At one point, handprints are seen on the walls of the elevator. At another moment, just before the doors open, a glimpse of something that doesn't look entirely human is seen. This video I found is from an urban explorer from Japan who was exploring abandoned buildings and houses. I find the Japanese ghost videos a lot more creepier. When the man explores the house, all the furniture and things are scattered on the ground. At one point, he walks past a mirror twice. The second time he does this, a kind of ghost appears. Take a look. People in the comments said that this was the former owner of the house, and the ghost only appears when you enter the house with wrong intentions, and therefore do not respect the place. I don't know if this is really true. I couldn't find any info about it either, but I thought the video looked quite believable. That's why I added it to the list. Ghosts don't need a Ouija board to communicate with letters. This mother discovers that the magnets on a refrigerator were constantly moving on their own. She recorded this, along with other spooky events in her house, in hopes of an explanation. She says it's starting to scare the baby. At first glance, this house doesn't seem to be haunted. No strange noises at night, no furniture moving on its own, and everything's in order. Except for a toddler who lets it be known that she sees a man standing under the stairs.
Ria, what did you see? Where's the man? Ria. Show Mama, where's the man? Where's nobody there?
Some children find the ghosts they see to be friendly, but this girl claims to be afraid of them. The following video was uploaded by a YouTube user named Rocky Mills. While he was in the process of fixing up an old house from the 1900s, he suddenly hears noises coming from the basement. He takes a look but finds nothing, and decides to walk through the entire house, because he has a feeling that there might be a burglar inside. At one point, a door opens and he walks towards it, and this happens.
Who is it?
The man dropped everything on the floor and ran out of the house, and only came back later to pick up his phone. Since then, he's never come back, because he thinks there's an evil ghost haunting this house. In this video, we see 3 children who claim to see a ghost and try to scare it away. You can see them pointing and shouting in the same spot. The 3 were originally in a protective line, and openly tell what appears to be an empty wall that they are angry with him. A toddler laughing is always a happy moment, except when she points to something and says she sees a ghost.
Ivy, who are you talking to?
Her eyes are following something, and then she goes back to eating as if nothing happened. The following video was submitted by a viewer to a Spanish YouTuber called Breakman. In the video, we see an elderly woman sitting on the couch while being filmed by probably one of her friends or relatives. A day before, someone had died in her house, and they all had a moment together to remember the person. However, if you look at the room in the background, we see something or someone looking behind the corner of the door. By the paranormal community, this is called a shadow figure. This would be a living presence of a spirit or entity. The person filming it didn't notice anything, but when they watched the video back later, no one in the family could explain what this had been. So it's thought that this might have been the deceased showing himself for the last time. One moment you're happily filming your child singing on the back seat. The next moment, you realize you're capturing the terrifying moment when a ghost is sitting shoulder to shoulder with your child. The young girl even seems to see it. How creepy is that? After their son found an old Ouija board, strange things began to happen around the house. The parents set up security cameras to find the source of the strange noises they heard, and they were not disappointed. Instead, they were terrified. The TV turns itself on to static sound, and objects fall down on their own.
On the YouTube channel TFIL, with 2.76 million subscribers, a group of friends travel the world in search of unique experiences. In this video, they go to the Yorktown Memorial Hospital built in 1951. This is said to be the most haunted place in the state of Texas, and reportedly more than 2,000 people died here, and ghost nurses still haunt it today. Immediately after entering the building, they begin to hear noises and strange things seem to happen at the door. Just take a look. Before they enter the building, they were told by the caretaker that there's a little ghost girl named Stacy. If you read her a story from a book in the nursery room, she will listen and appear. Take a good look at this video in the lower right corner. This is what happens.
I'll change baby's diaper, Ellie asked. Of course. What the fuck was that? Did you hear that? Was that moving?
Here's another chilling moment where a child refuses to be influenced by a ghost. This young girl seems to be talking to an imaginary friend. More than that, she seems to be keeping them from taking her things. Unfazed, she walks away. This next child, dressed in pajamas, says goodnight to everyone in the house, but also to a ghost in the bathroom. The mother is very confused and says there's nothing to see. However, the boy says he sees something and wants to say goodnight to the entity in the bathroom. How creepy is that?
Unfortunately, there's little to no information about this video, so we can't do anything else but analyze the clip closely by what we see. The video appears to have been shot in August of 2015, and the camera hanging in the office is unfortunately not in color. Furthermore, no one seems to be present in the office, and the place looks deserted. Nevertheless, I decided to add this video to the list because what happens is, in my opinion, very creepy. In fact, if you look closely, out of nowhere you can see a small shadowy figure appearing from the left room and walking to the other side of the room. Despite the fact that the quality isn't good, it looks like some kind of ghost is walking there. Unfortunately, we have to decide for ourselves if this was therefore really a ghost sighting or not. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
A mother heard her daughter talking to someone in another room when they were alone in the house. She ran over and saw the girl reading a book, but what happened next was pretty creepy. The pages of the book seemed to be pushed by an invisible force.
This video was originally uploaded to a TikTok account with a difficult name to pronounce. The woman is filming and playing with her dog when suddenly a dark figure appears from one of the rooms.
The dogs are ready for bed. It's just a peaceful night here. Get ready to go to bed myself. What the fuck is that? What? Oh, God!
As you can see, the dogs certainly noticed this. According to the people in the comments, this would be a shadow figure. A shadow figure is the perception of a living humanoid figure seen by a believer of the paranormal as the presence of a spirit or entity. In the description, the woman says that she has moved since then, and that she can't believe that she has just been able to and that she couldn't believe that she had captured this on camera. So many people in the comments also believe that this is a real ghost sighting. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Every viewer who saw this video said that there seemed to be a lot of energy and orbs of light around the girl. Some children are particularly sensitive to the paranormal world, others even more so. When her parents finally manage to get her attention, it looks like she's coming out of a trance.
In July and August of 2016, a man named Mike Jameson uploaded 2 videos on his YouTube channel that were called Paranormal Brothers. He claims there are several ghosts in his house, and one night he decides to record it on camera. He even bought a spirit box that would allow you to hear sounds of ghosts or supernatural things. Mike's dog also seems to notice something as he stares down the stairs where the basement is. At one point, the spirit box even drops a few words. Take a listen. A few minutes later, Mike asks the ghost to show himself, to which, just after that, 2 orbs of light seem to fly by. When I first saw it myself, I got goosebumps. The strange thing is that moments after, his camera loses focus. Pretty scary if you ask me.
A video was made in 1990 of a 2-year-old girl.
An innocent babbling conversation ends on a sinister note when she notices and explains that there's a ghost behind her. The fact that she doesn't seem so alarmed makes you wonder if this was just one of the many times she saw it.
The following video comes from the Instagram account of a woman named Cassie Smith. She was on vacation with her boyfriend to Oahu, an island in Hawaii, and she encountered something there that still terrifies her to this day. If you look closely, you can see something on the right side of the photo. When the photo is zoomed in, we see a creepy figure that appears to be covered in mud. Cassie initially sent her vacation photos to her mother, and her mother noticed the creepy figure and asked who it was. Cassie says that there was no one else in the rainforest and that there were no statues at all. After doing some research, this could possibly have been the spirit of a dead person. Hawaiian warrior, also called a night marcher. In some places on the island, the figure was said to have been sighted and has since become an urban legend.
One of the biggest fears of parents is to see their daughter happily running into a pitch-black room to greet an invisible person. Who were you talking to? Any parent could ask, afraid of the answer. Like this one when the child names a name like Nina. What would your reaction be?
The Bodmin Jail is a place in Cornwall, a place in England, and has attracted many paranormal researchers. There's a tour available here for tourists who can take a walk through the cell complex. Numerous ghost stories and ghost appearances have also been observed. The 32-year-old ghost hunter, Tony Ferguson, is said to have recorded something on camera here. This video has also been picked up by the news and media. Take a look. Cornwall has always been a place with a lot of mystery and inexplicable things, and this is also the reason that it's on the list of one of the most haunting places in all of England.
For a while, this boy seemed to be having a relationship with a ghost in his house. At some point, however, they seem to have a disagreement where the boy actively argues as if he's had enough. The creepiest part? You can hear a voice apologizing, though it's not clear whether it's a man or a woman.
Who are you yelling at?
In this video, we see some engineers who had to measure some old Japanese tunnels from the Second World War for radiation levels. Because these tunnels are 500 feet or 150 meters deep in the ground and are potentially radioactive, it's therefore off limits to the public. In the past, the tunnels were also used for mining purposes. When the men walk through one of the tunnels, not only does their camera start to go crazy, but something else is recorded that startled them. Although opinions differ on this, some think this was a ghost sighting of an old Japanese soldier. According to the uploader of the video, very small amounts of radioactive radiation were detected, which would be just enough to raise the spirits of soldiers from the distant past. Although the story sounds credible, I don't know if this is a real ghost sighting. What do you think?
Whether it's the association with The Grudge and Ring movies, there's something extra creepy about long-haired female ghosts. Mr. Huang from Taipei, Taiwan was reviewing old videos of his daughter when he saw such a ghost at the desk behind his daughter, who was singing and dancing.
The following video comes from a ghost hunter named Phil Koch, and he decides to investigate the Alchemist Theater in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on his own. According to stories, this is said to be one of the spookiest places in the city. When he walks into the theater, he decides to sit down on one of the seats and leaves the camera rolling in hopes of capturing something. For a long time, nothing happens, but then finally something happens. Just watch.
Something just moved behind me.
As you saw, the chair behind him folded open. But this wasn't the scariest thing that happened, because a moment later, he's walking around the building and he hears footsteps above him. At first, he thought that people were working upstairs, but later he found out that this was not the case. When he wants to check one of the rooms, this happens.
Again, and we'll take a look. Is still back here again, and we'll take a look. Hello? Hey.
But this is not the only thing, because it gets even scarier. After this happens, he runs out as fast as he can, and from what I understand, he hasn't returned since.
A young boy named Jackson was filmed while looking for someone he called Ghosty. The video claims that there's a ghost wandering around the house. The boy tells his parents that he even sees the ghost.
A ghosty.
A ghost?
Yeah, a ghosty.
A user on Reddit had posted a story with video showing that something paranormal had been happening in her home. She had experienced strange and unexplained events several times and decided to put up a surveillance camera in her living room. The woman appears to be taking a nap on her couch, along with her dog, and at one point, this happens. Check it out. As you saw in the footage, some kind of photographic portrait fell to the ground. People believe that this was something paranormal, but the conversations on Reddit are mostly about the dog. This is because the dog supposedly sensed it and reacted before it happened. Other people say that the dog has a quick reaction time. But why would the dog be looking at the spot like that? What do you think? Was it something paranormal? Let me know in the comments.
A series of tragic and terrifying events. The mother of a girl would have died right in front of their house. However, this place was the mother and daughter's favorite spot where they played regularly. When the girl went to play alone in the same spot a little later, she saw something and the ball started rolling. Was it her mother?
If you watch the scary videos on this channel, then you know I've talked about Gettysburg before. It was here that the greatest battle of all time of the American Civil War took place. According to many people, this place is teeming with ghosts. However, there's a video that's said to be one of the most credible ghost sightings ever. The following video was shot in November of 2001, and a family on vacation saw something moving in the woods opposite of them. Now, it's pretty hard to see, but some experts from the Dark Zone have stabilized the footage, and you can see several figures marching back and forth. What makes this video very believable, in my opinion, are the reactions of the family, and especially their child, who asks who those people are.
Look! Look! Isn't it those people?
Can't be.
There's no
Not up in the trees.
This would be impossible, according to the family and the experts, because the figures also seem to be marching high up in the tree.
A playground is usually a fun place with swings and slides and other play equipment. But a boy was filming a playground when a ghost child appeared in front of his camera. Pretty scary if you ask me.
Deanna Simpson lives in Hanover, Pennsylvania, and claims that her house is haunted by more than 5 ghosts and even a demon. The woman has even posted videos and photos on social media showing ghost-like figures. In this video, when she's home alone, she asks the ghost if he can close the door.
If that is you, would you please shut that door? Oh my God.
When the Fox 43 TV station went to interview her, they also experienced several strange things in the house. For example, the cameraman is said to have been scratched, and the reporter claims that she was pushed and pinched.
Nick has been scratched, I've been touched and pinched.
There would even have been a voice of a woman captured on camera. If this story was fake, it would also mean that Fox 43 was involved. So I believe there's a good chance that this story actually happened.
Security cameras sometimes capture the creepiest things. But the security camera of a couple recorded the moment their child was possessed. You would think this scene is from a horror movie, but no, this was real. The scariest part is when the child starts crying and screaming and their eyes begin to glow. Could they really be possessed by a ghost?
A YouTube channel named Zach Clark uploaded a video on December 9th, 2011 titled "My Dog Sees a Ghost." One day, his new puppy starts acting a little strange. She growls and barks toward the wall, and at one point, she even steps back out of fear. The owner can't see what it is, but it seems like the dog is warning his owner about something. But what is the question? A few weeks later, the exact same thing happened. Again, the dog runs toward the same spot, and it barks toward the corner of the room.
What is it, Zoe? Is there someone sitting in that chair?
Does the dog see something that we can't see? Zach actually believes that this was a ghost, because according to him, there isn't any other explanation.
Oh my gosh, you're freaking kidding me.
A 2-year-old baby shocked their family when they claimed to see a man standing next to them. This was at 8 p.m., and they added a creepy description to the man's appearance. The man would look like he was on a plane, which the parents interpreted as a ghost flying or floating.
The following video is said to have first appeared on Mexican television sometime in 2005. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much info about it, but we see a television host who's looking for something or someone at a cemetery in the middle of the night. After a while, he hears something that looks like a little girl crying. The television host looks to see where the sound's coming from and suddenly sees something sitting by a gravestone. The man decides to shout something, and then this happens.
Amiga! Niña! Ay, no seas imbécil.
According to stories circulating on the internet, the television host is said to still have nightmares of what happened that night.
Videos of two singing children seem like the nicest things to look back on when they're older, but something tells us they will remember this video forever. A few seconds after singing, the door eerily opens and slams shut on its own. A poltergeist, perhaps?
This video was uploaded in August 2013 by the YouTube user Ghost Tales, and it's the only video on their channel, which makes it quite believable to me. We see a small dog that senses some kind of presence in the living room. The owner's filming as the dog barks at the table. Some people claim that there was a ghostly figure on the table, but I couldn't really see it myself. A minute later, a ball seems to roll from under the cabinet. The owner of the dog claims that this could possibly have been something paranormal since there was nobody around the cabinet. Where could the ball have come from? Could it have been a ghost that wanted to play with the dog? Or how else could the ball suddenly appear from nowhere under the cabinet?
Playing and investigating children is something every child does. But when this child was playing, the father captured something terrifying on camera. The child plays and crawls into a closet when suddenly an extra spooky hand appears.
The house of the Watts family, in my opinion, is one of the most believable ghost sightings I've ever seen. The reason for this is because the video footage comes directly from a body cam from one of the agents. In the house, Shanann Watts lived with Chris Watts and their two children. Because of Chris's actions, Shanann and her two daughters, Bella and Cece, are no longer among us. The story is too grim to tell you on YouTube, so if you want to know what happened, you better look it up yourself. In the following video, we see two agents from the K-9 unit entering Chris's house to investigate their disappearance. As soon as they're inside, we immediately see something transparent appear on the left side of the stairs walking down the stairs. The home investigation took about 2 hours, and in several instances, voices are captured on the body cam. Just listen. But at one point, when they want to investigate the closet, one of the agents hears a voice of a child giggling.
There's plenty of person here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that? Wow.
The woman is so confused that she lets the other agent figure it out, who also heard the sound, but they couldn't find where it was coming from.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned around.
After the house was searched and the man was taken away, there were also reports of neighbors seeing an appearance of a woman walking around the house a day later.
There is a chance that not every ghost children see is a total stranger. This mother says she believes it's the ghost of her own mother. You can even see a light orb pass by at the beginning of the video, followed by the girl who seems to notice something too.
The following event is probably the scariest on this list. A YouTube user uploaded a video titled "Ghosts Make Dogs Scared." The owner of the dog explains that when he comes home, doors are often left open, and his dogs behave very strangely. He decided to set up a camera on different days, and the footage I'm about to show you happened in May of 2008. The owner left the radio on with some music to possibly calm the dogs, but it didn't work because the radio started making strange noises. Then a door seems to slowly open and then slam shut. This happens a few times in a row, and we can clearly see that nobody's present behind the door. The dogs look around anxiously and seem to be following something in the living room. Pretty scary if you ask me. And I think I would quickly move out if I experienced something like this. Caitlin Speaks is a YouTube user who uploaded a video in 2013 titled "There's a Ghost in My House." He tells us that his family was still asleep when something strange happened in the hallway downstairs. If we look at the security camera footage, we see the dog next to the trash can. What's strange about that, you might ask? If we slow down the footage, we can see that the dog is next to the trash can, which should mean that someone or something had to push the trash can toward the table. But according to Caitlin Speaks, there was no one in the room at that time. He thinks it might have been a poltergeist that could have thrown the trash can toward the table, causing the dog to get scared and try to run away. According to him, it couldn't have been the dog itself.
because it should have been running towards the trash can, not next to it. Pretty creepy, huh? 30 East Drive, Pontefract is the address that everyone in the United Kingdom knows, because this is the most haunted house in England, built in the 1950s. Inside the house haunts an entity known as the Black Monk, the Pontefract Poltergeist, or simply as Fred. Fred is considered one of the most violent poltergeists in Europe. In this video, we see the ghost throwing a baby carriage down the stairs. If you see this, I don't think you would want to stay in this house. If anything is straight out of Stranger Things, it's this haunted house with clocks in every room, plants that only survive in one room, trembling chandeliers, and animal bones. But then there's Gilbert the Ghost, a painting in the attic that allegedly radiates sinister energy. The boy who lives there claims it's one of his best friends, and that the man who previously lived there painted it. When asked what Gilbert tells him, the boy says he doesn't pray. After finding a series of creepy objects like a Ouija board with sun symbols, a doll, and an old photo of a boy who used to live there, they decided to contact Gilbert with the board. They found more than a dozen buried dolls on the property, including in crawl spaces and buried in the garden, which were twisted in shape and from different eras. They emit intense energy. One doll in particular seems to possess the most energy.
Stories and articles about the Disneyland park in Anaheim, California have come out, saying it could be haunted. One evening in 2009, the security staff saw something unusual on the security cameras. When they replayed the footage, they saw a transparent figure walking throughout the park. The ghostly figure comes from the haunted house, and you can see that it even runs through a closed gate and ends up somewhere above the water. The scary thing about this shot is that it was captured by multiple cameras from different sides, which means it's not some kind of trick, but an inexplicable ghostly thing. When the video was uploaded to YouTube, many viewers thought this might have been the spirit of Walt Disney himself, the founder of Disney. By the way, this is not the only ghost sighting that has been observed in the park. Here we see a ghost figure sitting in the roller coaster cart, if you look closely. The next time you walk your dog in the middle of the night, be on guard. It was the dog that first noticed something was wrong by reacting strangely to the trees. Animals like cats and dogs are said to have a sixth sense for things that are invisible to human eyes. And the girl in this video didn't notice or see the figure standing among the trees and staring directly at her. The following photo is believed to have been taken in 1916 by a retired inspector. It shows 3 women coming from the village of Tingwick in Buckinghamshire, England. According to the inspector, there was no dog to be seen at the time the photo was taken. However, upon closer inspection of the photo, we can clearly see what appears to be a ghostly dog. Some people believe that this is evidence that ghostly animals do exist. The strange thing about these photos is that they appear very convincing. In my opinion, it's pretty creepy, because it's said that the photo is authentic and comes from the year 1916. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any more info about it, but based on only this photo, I would say that it looks really real. However, I could be wrong. Do you think we're seeing the ghost of a dog? A normal dog would not look so transparent. What do you think? Have you ever wondered how many ghosts lurk over our shoulders? If this next video is to be believed, a ghost even goes along in a cab. The video footage comes from a CCTV camera in Japan and follows a man getting into a yellow cab. Only he doesn't get in, but floats in. Could this be proof that ghosts really exist after all? This story is quite bizarre. Oscar is one of 6 cats that was adopted by their nursing home named Steer House in Rhode Island. The cat has been living there since 2005 and reportedly made headlines in 2007 for being able to predict sick patients nearing death. Oscar wasn't really a sociable cat, but he had a special interest in certain patients. The cat would only enter certain rooms and lie down at the end of their bed. Within a few hours, the patient would have died. After it happened, the cat would quietly leave the room again. If the room door was closed, the cat would not stop meowing until it was let inside. But perhaps the creepiest part of this is that Oscar was never wrong. After this story was written by the New England Journal of Medicine, the cat is said to have predicted more than 25 patients' deaths. And since the article was published, Oscar has had more than 100 events right. How does this cat do this? It remains a mystery to this day. Welcome to the Molly Stark Sanatorium, a former tuberculosis hospital in Stark County. This place is a hotspot for both ghosts and the paranormal. In this video, someone decided to visit the tunnel and declared to hear strange footsteps. Moments later, he even saw a figure that appeared to be wearing a lab coat. In this video from a Reddit user, we see a cat staring at a specific spot near the aquarium where a huge fish is swimming.
The reason why the man is filming this is that he finds it amusing how the cat keeps an eye on the fish. However, something strange happens later in the video. The cat is still staring at the same spot, but a bottle turns itself over and seems to do the same thing. Then a strange blue flash appears on the screen, and if you look closely, the cat also notices it. Some people thought it might be a passing car with its headlights on, but the person says they live deep in the woods. Furthermore, they inherited the house from their deceased aunt. Some believe that it's a light orb of her spirit. What do you think it was? Let me know in the comments. One Halloween night, high school students wore creepy skeletal clothing and makeup at a local soccer game. Little did they know that a real ghost was running by. And this was not the first time. People at Somar High School are aware of this ghost. This time, however, a mother was lucky enough to accidentally capture the ghost on camera during a game. This video has been uploaded by a YouTube user named bscotty321. His younger sister sitting at the dining table. In the description of the video, Billy tells that he was curious if his sisters would touch his food or drink when he walked away. Like Billy thought, she touches the drink, but what happened before this is pretty creepy. It looks like the girl's talking to something or someone.
Let's go dinner.
As you saw, the girl was communicating with someone and said, "That's Billy's food." At first, she could be talking to someone else in the room, but if you look closely, the fork seems to move by itself, which in my opinion makes it very believable. So a lot of people in the comments believe this was something paranormal. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. During the day, school cafeterias are filled with noisy students, but what actually happens at night? In this next video, the school cafeteria seems to be haunted, as if you feel like you shouldn't be there. At one point, you see a shadowy figure appear, almost as if it emerges from the ground and then passes through the deserted space. A YouTuber named TD Mondo uploaded a video on December 11th, 2008, in which his cat seems to see something in the upper right corner near the ceiling. In the description of the video, he explains that he never believed in ghosts, but that he and his wife had two cats who would always go crazy over things they saw, to which they had no answer. Sometimes the cats would even chase things that weren't there. One day his cat started showing strange behavior, and he decided to film it. As you can see in the video, the cat suddenly starts climbing the wall. He sees no shadow, because if you look at the way he's wagging his tail, it looks like the cat is upset or angry. What do you think the cat sees at the ceiling? Let me know in the comments. This next person was walking around in the woods at night, and when he went back to his car, something creepy happened. In fact, he felt that something was chasing him in the woods. And when he wanted to start the car to drive away, we see something creepy appear in the car window. Fortunately, the window was closed. How fast would you have stepped on the gas pedal? It's videos like these that make you wonder what's happening behind every time you turn your back or leave a door ajar. The person who recorded the video also revealed that nerve-wracking things always happen in the house. You would have to sleep with one eye closed if you saw this in real life. What do you think they captured on camera? A ghost? A YouTube user named KennyBrown17 uploaded a video in January 2013 in which his dog exhibits strange behavior. As soon as Kenny sees this happening, he grabs his camera and starts filming. As you can see, the dog named Lolo walks into the kitchen, but gets scared of something and starts slowly walking backwards. When Kenny goes to investigate, he finds nothing there. The dog has since gone to lie down in its bed, but later musters up the courage to walk back into the kitchen, where its food's kept. However, once again, the dog walks backwards as if something in the kitchen is approaching her, but walks away again. Some people believe that the dog might have seen an evil spirit in the kitchen, which caused it to become scared and walk backwards out of the kitchen. What do you think the dog saw? What could it have been? Let me know. The woman in this video is reportedly being stalked by a child ghost and even experimented with leaving toys on the porch of her cabin in Colorado, USA. When a camera recorded the night's events, it proved her theory correct. The voice outside wasn't just in her head. When you see it, you see what looks like a little spirit of a child running away. Pretty creepy. The Haunted Site is a YouTube channel with about 30,000 subscribers for people who love the paranormal. They're two guys who edit the videos in a professional way and want to visit haunted places. In one of the episodes on the channel, Patrick and his friend go to one of the most haunted places in the world, a building in downtown Reno, Nevada near Las Vegas. According to the people who work here, a dark atmosphere prevails, and the men of the haunted site go looking for clues of this existence. They put up cameras everywhere, and pretty soon this happens. Just take a look. This is not the only thing they capture. In the next video, when they're talking, something seems to be walking by the corridor behind them.
Black heat
Hang on, keep it there for a second.
Dude, I just saw somebody over there. It's hard to see, but if you look closely, you'll see a kind of white ghostly figure walking to the other side. This was picked up by one of their cameras that they had put down. Pretty creepy if you ask me. I have no idea what this could have been. Have you ever heard of shadow people? They're said to inhabit the corners of rooms, invisible and silent until you notice them. It's believed that such an occurrence is captured on camera, although the man has not yet seen the extra presence. Imagine if you look back at the camera footage and see a shadow person lurking behind you. Pretty creepy. Valerie Brown is a woman who had uploaded a video on June 1st, 2013, titled "Dog Barks at Nothing. Ghost?" In the description, she initially writes that she had uploaded a video on Facebook, and she asked people who or what the dog was barking at. She adds that she's not into paranormal things. People told her to upload the video to YouTube. The dog named Ruthie barks, growls, and wags its tail and seems to be very fixated on the presence of something. But what is truly the question? Perhaps the scariest thing about it is that the dog seems to be following something with its eyes. At one point, it seems to disappear, but when he walks to the left and behind the couch, he starts barking again. However, when the woman does this herself, she finds nothing. What do you think this could have been? A surveillance camera captured the moment a translucent figure appeared out of nowhere. The only living soul nearby was a poor cow, who knew nothing of evil spirits that manifested next to it. What do you think the spirit was doing here? In September 2014, a YouTube channel called Mama Owl Paranormal uploaded a video claiming that strange things and spirits were happening in their house. Especially at night when they try to sleep, the activity of light orbs is the strongest. What's creepy is that even the dog starts to growl and bark, and he seems to notice everything. So the woman decides to hang a camera at night, in which she captures different light orbs on the camera. In a scene, the dog notices them and begins to bark, waking up his owner. It's clear that the dog saw something, but what could it have been? Perhaps the house has a dark past that's full of ghosts. Of all the videos on this list, this one is also the most viewed, with almost 10 million views. And many people in the comments share similar experiences. Little is known about this picture, but the story would be as follows. A mother of 2 children goes on vacation for work and takes a picture of her children just before she leaves. When she looked back at the picture later, she was shocked that suddenly there was a blackish shadow figure behind the children. So this would be some kind of shadow person or dark spirit. The figure has a black form and 2 white eyes staring at the unknown. Other people also say that shadow persons attach themselves to different people. So even if you move, these shadow persons would haunt you. It's also unclear what happened after this picture was taken, but in my opinion, it's one of the most mysterious and scary pictures I've ever seen. The United Kingdom has a haunted hotspot that is very active. Cameras have reportedly caught a glow in the shape of a human slowly wandering through this area. It's believed that the ghost's identity is the 7th Earl of Sefton, Hugh William Osbert Molyneux. This man lived in the house until his death in 1972. Have you ever encountered anything from the paranormal realm? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.